Welcome back. Our guest in this segment is Rick Habgood. Rick is with Fairvote Canada, and we're going to be talking about proportional representation. It's been 3 weeks, I guess, since the election, and so maybe fill us in with what is happening, because it's a hugely important issue, I think.
It is. It's without a doubt, in my mind, the most important issue that we're going to be facing. And actually, 9,093,630. Do you know what that represents, Jack?
Absolutely not.
Okay. That represents the number of votes that got trashed.
Oh, okay.
This election.
Right.
Okay. 17 million people voted.
Okay.
And over 9 million votes went in the garbage. Were not counted.
So you mean, for example, if someone voted Conservative in an area that went Liberal, that vote was wasted?
Didn't work.
Yeah.
It didn't count.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
Or vice versa.
Right. So, of course, what Fairvote Canada would like to do is change that. We want to see the Canadian government, Trudeau, Prime Minister Trudeau, and the Liberals change the voting system, which they have promised to do. Justin Trudeau many times has said that this is going to be the last unfair election, that this is going to be the last time that we actually use first past the post. Those are really good words, and we're looking to hold his feet to the fire. And we're doing it in a number of ways. But first of all, we need to change that. We need to make sure that the over 9 million people whose votes got trashed, what we need to do is make certain that those votes next time get counted. Those people need to be in Parliament.
So in other words, under a proportional voting system, really you can say that every vote counts, because if a party gets 40% of the 40% of the votes, they get 40% of the seats,
Right.
and 30% gets about 30%. And in this election, actually, the Liberals only got a bit less than 40% of the votes.
39.5.
Yeah, and yet, we've got a majority government.
184 seats.
So not exactly what we voted for, which is a big problem.
No. And the thing is that the unfortunate part in our system, and it happens all the time, is that the party, one of the platforms that they have before they get elected, they say they're going to change the voting system. Once they get elected and they have this big majority, they get dementia, and all of a sudden it gets forgotten. And that's why we really need to keep, but I think this is going to come through. I think that they have promised this too many times, I hope. So what Fairvote Canada is doing is we have created a petition that we're going to be sending to Ottawa. And anyone can download that petition from FairVoteCanada.ca. And when you download it, you want to get 25 signatures. Once you have the 25 signatures, make sure that that petition gets to your local MP, and they will make sure it gets to Parliament. So that's what we need to do. We need to get everybody downloading that petition. We need people to go out to their friends and everything.
Yeah.
They need to sign the petition, and so that's one part of the campaign that Fairvote has.
Well, you know what? I'm going to take one and get 25 signatures.
Absolutely.
Do my best.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and then make sure it gets to Murray Rankin. So that's one thing that we're doing. We're also going to be in malls. We're going to be at events. We're going to be all over the place getting signatures, all across Canada, everywhere. So that's what's going to be. And plus, we have some pretty good partners. We have leadnow.org. They have partnered up with us. Proportional representation is now the issue for them.
Great.
Yeah. So their whole database. And the same goes with Dogwood. Dogwood right here in Victoria. One of their major issues is proportional representation, and they will be asking their membership also to sign the petitions. So we've got some pretty good cowboys on board, and I think we're definitely moving in that direction. What we need to do is keep the heat up. We need to get the letters in. So anything that you can do to help us out, to help yourself out, to help the country out, is to get out there, write letters, get the petition signed, and get them in. Now, one of the, I think what we should discuss, there's a lot of different voting systems. And I think it's really important to understand that the AV, or alternative vote, the preferential vote, and the instant runoff vote, all those three voting systems are nothing but first past the post with a bit of window dressing.
Okay, so why do you mention those three? Is AV the one that the Liberals favor?
Well, you know, they haven't actually come out and said they favor anything. What they're doing is they're going to be creating a nonpartisan committee to go out and get information about all the different voting systems. Then at the end of the 18 months, they're going to make recommendations to the government. Now, what they're going to do, what they're going to come up with, we don't know. It's very hard to read. No one's actually saying anything because, number one, I think what Trudeau would like to do, I am not 100% on this, but I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to say, this is the consensus and this is what we're going to do. But first we need to get the consensus. And they're going to be reaching out to right across Canada. You can put your 2 bits worth in. Everybody, any citizen can. Okay. And
is there going to be a kind of education and information campaign that goes along with that?
There has to be. Yeah. There has to be. And I think what we need to do with Fairvote Canada, we are putting out the information. We are going to be, if you want information about voting systems, and that goes to everybody that's watching right now, if you want information about voting systems, go to FairVoteCanada.ca. We have all that information for you. It's unbiased. We do not support any particular PR system. We just want to get a PR system in place.
So if I'm interested in finding out about MMP, I go to the website.
That's right.
And there's a button there that says MMP, and I'll be able to read about it.
Yes, there is. That's right. You can find out about, and also, you know, you can find about, actually, I've got a good example about the, in Australia, they use AV for their federal election, okay? They call it preferential voting system, AV, or instant runoff, okay? So when somebody tells you that AV is a good voting system, what you need to do is you need to look at the numbers, because the numbers aren't going to lie, especially in an election. It's just basically, this is how many people voted, this is what the outcome is. So what I've done is here's a good example. In Canada, the Green Party, they got over 600,000 votes. A little over 600,000 votes here in Canada.
In this election?
In this election, okay? 605,000 votes. Okay. They got 1 MP. Right. Very expensive, eh? That's an expensive MP.
That's right.
605,000 people it took to get 1 MP.
Right, right.
Okay? Disgusting. Now, in Australia, using AV, okay, so people who say that AV is a better system, okay, the Green Party in Australia got 1,116,000 votes.
Twice as many.
Twice as many votes. Yeah. They got 1 MP.
Wow. Right. So AV is.
Yeah. AV doesn't work. It is not a proportional system. If the Liberal government brings in AV or anything the variation of AV, then you know for a fact that they're not interested in changing anything. They like the status quo, and that's just the way it's going to be.
And AV, the most important thing about it, it is not a proportional
It's
system.
not even, well,
It's a little better than what we've got right now, but
speaks
it's
for
not
itself.
proportional. That's right.
Actually, you know, it's probably worse because now in Australia, the Greens got 8.65% of the vote, and they only got one MP.
Yeah. So how many votes did the Liberals get? Do you know in this election?
In this particular election? No, I haven't got that written down, but they got 39.5%. 17 million, so...
They probably got about 12, 11, let's say 11
Probably.
times as many votes
Yeah.
as the Greens. I'd say
Yeah.
about 6.5 million votes went Liberal. So for 6.5 million votes, they elected 188,
184
MPs for 6.5 million votes.
Yeah.
The Greens got almost 10% of that and elected one. The system doesn't give us what we vote for. That's a big problem.
No. It's but you got to remember,
And we're almost out of time.
It's a bad system.
Yes.
But a long time ago, way back in the 12th century, when you go all the way back to King Edward I, right? First past the post was put in place, and in every borough or riding, there was only allowed 2 people to run, and that was it. So it was a horse race between 2 people. So in a sense, it was like whoever got the most votes won that borough, right? So in that way, that's sort of democratic because whoever gets the most vote gets to win the race. So in a way, it works not too bad for 2 parties. But as soon as you inject a 3rd or a 4th party into it, it just doesn't work. So that's why we need to bring it up to date.
Okay. And do you think the Liberal government is going to really do that?
Well, we continue to write letters. We continue to monitor MPs.
Okay.
We know all the MPs. We know every single Liberal MP. We write to every single Liberal MP. We ask them questions.
And we're out of time. Rick, thank you so much.
Are we out of time already? There you go. Anyways, thanks, Jack.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for watching this segment of Citizens Forum.